Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quantum Catechesis. I'm Father Joe Krupp, and you are not a mystery for which you should be grateful to our Lord every day. Today is Thursday at some point in some month, and I think it's 2021. I'm usually pretty confident about
Time is a flat circle at this point.
That's right. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys today, and today's guest is one of my favorite humans. I love this dude so much, and he came in today, and my head is all train wrecky. It's a bag of cats up there today. And he hugged me, and I almost started bawling. That's what loser level I've achieved. But he's just a good soul. You'll see what I mean. I can't wait for you to meet him. But before we get into that, did you see that, Rich? Did you see the way I took authority?
Yeah.
I'm a pastor.
Because you're a priest.
I'm a pastor. Unlike you lay trash. Oh, look, dude. My socks don't match. Oh, anyway.
It's because you're not married.
Tomorrow, I don't know if I told everybody this, because this is so cool. We're doing our question and answer show, but from a completely crazy location. We're going to be here. We've never done that before since last Friday and the Friday before and the Friday before and the Friday before and the Friday before. But beyond that, we've never done it before, except every time.
So the Joe in Black on the road thing is going real well.
Really well. It turns out the businesses that invite us want us to, quote, never ever come back. Something about a restraining order. I don't know. But they apparently talk to each other. So that's going to be Friday, and ask me what we're talking about Wednesday.
This past Wednesday?
You know what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, what are you going to talk about next Wednesday?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
And I wish you would stop putting pressure on me.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah. But, so now, ready? Watch this, Rich. I'm going to do a dramatic transition to the next camera. We're here. Okay, Marius is pulling the cord out from the camera. Anyway, now I want to introduce you to one of my favorite humans, Rich Jefferson Budd.
Not my middle name.
I just made it up.
Oh, you got
What
a
is
little
your middle
applause
name?
and everything. Andrew.
Rich Jefferson Andrew Budd.
Andrew means manly.
Yes. So you may have noticed, he and I, now we're brothers, right? That's all there is to it. But you can see he roots for the team from Ann Arbor, and I root, oh, see how his mic fell off because Jesus hates Ann Arbor? And I root for God's favorite team, MSU.
I was just trying to honor your alma mater today.
Thank you.
No problem.
We're not talking about that.
No, Jesus might love the Spartans, as your shirt says, but Mary prefers blue.
And that's the trouble. Like, we talked about this. I'm like, I try to do the whole, green and white at Mass, but then it's like, Mary wears blue. And I can't imagine a situation where Jesus isn't like, no, this one's
And that picture right there, Jesus is wearing blue too, I just want to point out.
I know, because he's trying to redeem the hell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's... So anyway, I'm so happy you're here to meet this beautiful man. You remember, maybe, that I told you guys, part of Bishop Earl's magic has been bringing in great people at the diocese. And Rich is one of those great people that I think of when I think of how our diocese has been transformed by great hires. Rich is the director of family life.
Marriage and family.
Marriage and family life. And he's an expert on marriage, because you're on, what, your fifth now?
Fifth child or marriage?
Fifth marriage.
No, only one marriage.
Okay, only
5
one
kids.
Child, 5 marriages. Got it.
One child and 5 marriages.
So anyway, Rich, we're happy you're here.
Thanks, I'm pleased to be here. I like watching the show, and so now I'm kind of nervous being on it.
Yeah, well,
I'm in the studio.
Well, I'm going to spoil you because you know I love the snot out of you. It's not even fair, you know. And I want to say a couple things, if you don't mind, real quick, before I forget. Brett Hoover. Brett, I know you're seeking to be fully initiated into the Catholic Church, and I'm so geeked out about this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If you finish it, I get a toaster oven signed by the Pope. No pressure. But all kidding aside, bro, we're praying for you. We are. And Krista and Edward, we've sent you your Bibles. They're on their way.
Edward Hanson.
Oh, his is already there. Okay, and Krista, just know that we're praying for you and we love you. Okay? And again, truly, I do pray every day for everyone who chooses the suffering of watching this show. Yeah, so you jerks owe me. That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes
My
down
prayers are special and pretty.
Special, maybe not pretty.
Easy. So, Rich, tell us what you do for the diocese. Tell me about your job.
Yeah, so when people, they'll often ask, like, okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
And with a title like Marriage and Family, that pretty much is life.
Yes.
So I really touch upon all the different areas of ministry.
Okay.
From the liturgy to catechesis to evangelization, and then some specific issues that, surround families, like pastoral care of people that have been through divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe lost a child through miscarriage.
Oh, God, I love your work on that. Yeah.
And so we try to give some attention there, but the faith is passed down mainly in the family.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of support with parents, and
Praise God.
I do a lot of work with other people in the diocese.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Your fingers are in a million pies, and
Bishop
it's amazing.
probably doesn't prefer that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't let that Rich finger.
Right. I do remember when we got the email from him that said ignore Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
wasn't
he was talking
happy
about
about
wealth,
that. Yeah.
but it turns out he meant.
It was me.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind, before we get into getting to know you better, would you mind one of my favorite things you're doing, as a priest? One of the toughest things to figure out is how to pull off marriage prep, right? Because you get couples coming in who are churchgoers. Mm-hmm. You get a vast majority coming in who are vaguely familiar. There's a thing called Mass on Sunday, and everything in between. And they all have insane schedules.
Yeah.
And priests have insane schedules. And I think for me as a priest, it's one of the biggest stressors, right? And then I'm going to say 2 years ago, actually it was 3, you threw a bomb and I liked it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Can you talk about, are you comfortable with this? Okay. Can you share with us, if I may put it this way, your vision for marriage prep that you're sharing with us priests and lay leaders?
Yeah. So, well, the first thing to say is that the idea of marriage prep is really new in the life of the church.
Oh, yeah.
There was no such thing as marriage prep prior to Vatican II.
Yeah.
You just learned how to be married from being in a family. And then in your time, you got engaged, and a couple of weeks later you got married.
Yeah.
And the church realized that it would probably be best for there to be a preparation period. Yeah. And so for the last half century, we've been figuring out what that should look like. But then as Pope John Paul II, back in 1981, he asked that marriage preparation look like something called the catechumenate, which is a fancy word for what most people know as RCIA.
Oh, okay. Nice. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
Man, he was good.
And then nobody did it. So Pope Francis came around and said, hey guys, I think Pope John Paul II had a good idea.
Yeah, the guy we call Saint John, but maybe we should listen to him.
Maybe we should just go back and look at what he wrote. Refresh. So Pope Francis asked for this as well in the Universal Church, and people started to pay attention. So I was a little bit ahead of Pope Francis. I'm going to claim that.
I hear it all the time.
I'm going to claim
I heard Pope Francis say that in an audience.
Rich Bud was a little bit ahead.
he was ticked. I'm going to be honest. He wasn't happy about it.
Because when I came to the diocese in 2015, I had this idea, and he came out and took all my thunder.
Yeah. Basically copied you, Jesuits.
So what's the whole idea behind why should marriage prep look like RCA? Number one, marriage is a sacrament.
I'm talking.
So it has to do with the life of Christ. And if you don't know who Christ is, you're not going to live the sacrament very well.
My brother.
So that's the first thing. We want all of our couples to experience Christ's love for them and the message that he has for them in the gospel. So
Praise God.
But number two, every single couple, as you kind of pointed out in your intro there, is different.
Yeah.
So you've got the couple that they've gone to daily mass and got master's degrees from Steubenville and
just leave those kids alone.
No.
Just stick a ring on them. Just stick a ring on them and pray they have 1 million kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got the others that they haven't had a confession since their first.
Yeah.
And they don't really know who Jesus is. They just know that you've got a really long aisleway for the bride to walk down, and that's why they want to come marry you.
Or a beautiful priest, like a priest whose face is called the moneymaker.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. It's one of those Spanish, no one says it but me.
Oh, okay.
But I just assume it's what everyone's thinking.
Well, you'll always learn something new.
Thank you, brother.
But as a church, because we often have to get so many people through the door,
Yeah.
we try to automatize the process.
Yep.
And we just like get people a checklist, put them through, you show up, you do the paperwork, blah, blah, and so we're not treating people as individuals, but their individual wounds and their individual gifts and experiences. And we're not helping them to know Jesus.
Yeah.
So we put together this process where each individual couple is treated as individuals.
Yes.
And hopefully at the end of it, they know Jesus a little bit better.
Yes.
We've had some couples that have converted.
Yeah.
Like one was Catholic, one
it.
wasn't, and by the end, both were Catholic. So I call that a win.
I do too. And I was just about to make a note. Now, am I jumping in on you? No. There was two things that I really liked about your program, because I saw, in my opinion, and I'll be interested, like if you disagree, I totally get it, and I'd love to hear that, because you know more. But I always saw two weaknesses in our marriage preps. And you may remember, I tried really hard. Like I had a whole thing going in Lanaway, and it really worked well. But it was super time intensive for the priest. But what I saw was that, in my opinion, the church I was raised in fell in love with psychology, right? And so everything became psychology. And I remember this beautiful priest, Father Dimitri Sala, he told me one time, psychology is second best solution for religion, right? Not that it's second best, but I'm not a psychologist. Yeah. And so when I get up and use psychology as my primary means of communicating God's healing, I'll fail. In the same way that a psychologist acting like a priest would fail, right? That we're about Jesus, and they're about a specific element of the life of a human. Right? Am I making sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And so much of marriage prep when I got ordained, 98, was psychology.
Have them go to a communications and conflict resolution class.
CARE, communication and relationship enhancement program, but we called it CARE because CARE isn't a word.
Yeah.
And I told every couple that.
And CARE sounds kind of, Jesus-y.
And then we loved us some acronyms. Remember, facilitating open couple communication, understanding, and study.
Yes.
Focus.
Focus.
So that to me was one issue. And I get it. We tried, but we forgot Jesus.
Yeah.
And we went to a ballpark we don't know. Right? And then the second thing was, and I pray I say this well, a lot of the theology of the body and a lot of the purity talks ended up treating women as objects to be resisted. That purity was defined as a woman problem. I don't know how, am I saying this badly?
At least a man problem caused by women.
That's it. Okay, thank you. That it was all reduced in my mind to, how do you not have sex when you're getting ready for marriage? And what it primarily seemed to focus on was, all right, buddy, she's a temptation.
Lots of cold showers.
Yeah. And this whole, no, she's a daughter of God.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hope this doesn't sound like Dad and I were at the grocery store. I don't mean this impure or dirty or anything. I really, and this gal, it was so funny. She had 84 kids around her shopping cart.
As one does.
I know, that poor dear. And you could see, she was all in. But she grabbed this can of beans and was looking at it, and I looked at Dad, I goes, even when they look at products on the thing, they're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like a woman taking a can of beans, I go, she's like, oh, I'm sitting there looking, I'm just like, even that's beautiful. Women are so beautiful to us, right? But to reduce them to that and then say, well, how does that beauty affect me? That's what it felt like a lot of the purity focus went to. So those to me were two problems, and I feel like I just talked a lot.
That's fine.
Yours doesn't do that.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we also noticed was we treated the person as just like an intellect. Yeah. So you got to listen to all this stuff, and you get all these facts, and then we'll send you out to get married. And so what we realize is the human person is also a spirit,
My bro.
and they're also a heart.
Yes.
And so you've got to form the heart, you've got to form the spirit, and you've got to form the mind, right?
Yeah.
And so sexual purity is about integration.
Yes.
That's who I am.
Yes.
Not just
Resist.
Yeah, because sometimes resistance is part of it.
Yeah.
To integrate.
Yeah.
But it's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so if that's all you ever do, when it's no longer the time to resist, but it's the time to give.
Yeah.
Now you haven't been given those tools.
Right.
So.
And again, if I'm getting you, Carrie, I'm looking at you. One of the things that blew me away, what really opened my eyes to some of this, was talking to men who were recently married, who felt dirty.
Yeah.
That they had spent their whole adulthood feeling repulsive for their drive. And what were they told? That's because that's bad. Knock it off. Mm-hmm. Instead of, no, that's God created fire in you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And you could burn down a world with it. Mm-hmm. Or you could build one.
Yeah.
And teach them to treasure that fire. And again, with women, I don't know. Your tribe is so alien to me. Right? No, you know what I mean? I don't, like, women will be, what are you thinking? I'm like, I wasn't. Are you thinking right now? That's so weird, you know. But, you know, so then they get married, and what have they been told their whole lives? Bad, 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 bad. And what you feel for her, bad. And then they get married, and they're told, no, it's good.
Yeah, and marriage is just a license to do something bad.
Yes.
And that's actually how...
Oh, brother, wow. Can you say that again?
Marriage is just a license to do something bad.
Yeah. Wow, I don't mean that that's it.
That's how the early church thought of marriage.
I know.
You got married so that you could do something you otherwise shouldn't. And thankfully, over time, we realized, oh no, there's actually good things about marriage.
Yeah.
You know, St. Augustine, thank God, even though he struggled with that himself,
I know. He was
the first one to really kind of recognize, oh, there's actually goods that come along with marriage.
Yeah.
So,
them doing with their bodies what they're trying to do with their souls, like proclaiming a truth and a worship with their bodies. They're worshiping and imitating the Trinity.
Yeah, that's
Dang.
huge. Yeah.
You know, that's the sacrifice. Like, that's what I learned as a priest. When I was a young priest, the sacrifice was no sex. Mm-hmm. You get older and it's like, no, the sacrifice is, I don't worship that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No sex is not a problem compared to the sacrifice.
Well, that's the thing. Married people tell me that all the time, you know.
It's preferring what she wants rather than what I want.
Exactly.
Okay, sure. I'll go get the kid that's crying right now.
And then, have you tried faking injuries?
Well, maybe not injuries, but illnesses.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't want to spread this.
Yeah. Let me go have a cigar.
This might be COVID.
So, again, darn it, I'm talking too much. I want them to hear, like, this vision you've shared with us through this program, to me, is so life-giving.
So one of the things also that we noticed was the church's idea, and this is something I think we need to get on board with across the church.
Okay.
Is that we're all responsible for the church.
Okay, now.
And so, as a married person, as a married couple with my wife, I'm responsible for all those young people, all those engaged people. It's my job to help them become good married people.
Yeah.
And so, we brought in this program called Witness to Love.
Yeah.
And
That's tight.
Its whole job is to have other people in the parish take responsibility for the engaged couples. Yeah. And a lot of the interesting thing about this program is you don't get trained to do it.
Okay, now.
As long as you're living a good Catholic life.
Yeah.
You've been married for a little while.
Sure.
You're being faithful to your vows. You've got enough to give away.
Yeah.
We've got this idea that you have to be a specialized, special trained, special skills. You got to be marriage ninjas to give away, what these people need. And the church, if you open up the Order of Matrimony, the book that is the sacrament, the ritual.
Yeah.
The introduction says the whole Christian community is responsible for the preparation of marriage.
Yeah.
Well, how is that going to happen?
Right.
Unless married people are taking responsibility for the engaged couple. And so
if I'm, let's say, if I'm married, my wife and I have been married 10 years, and we've got.
You've been married longer than that.
Yeah, but we don't talk about it. Remember that was private.
That's
yeah, and this is
cut that right.
Yeah, this is the wife in Utah, not the one in Montana. Yeah, the one in Montana, I gave up. And I think she thinks I'm dead. Just as a side note, don't call her.
Okay.
No, so let's say I'm a married dude. My wife and I've got 4 little squeakers. We've been in the fight 10 years, and now. How do you and your fiance approach me? Like, what does that look like?
Sure.
Does the question make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where I think psychology does have a really important role to play.
Okay.
Because what we see through the psychological sciences is that if you're going to be a mentor to somebody, they need to trust you.
Okay.
And one of the key points in building trust is that you have some sort of attraction to that person.
Okay.
There's something about them that you like.
Yes.
And that's going to be a nice stepping stone for you to trust them.
Yes.
And so the engaged couple, we asked them to choose their own mentor from the people within the parish. And we tell them, what I just mentioned, they got to be married for a while, be faithful Catholics, etc. But find a couple that when you look at them, you say, that's how we want to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
We want to look like that.
Yeah.
So it could be anything from, he roots for the Spartans, I like the Spartans.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
It could be, I like the way they interact with their kids, or the way that he holds the door open for her. Things like that. It doesn't have to be super profound.
Right.
But it could just be, we've got that in common. Because that's kind of that first stepping stone into trust. Now, traditionally, over the past several decades in the church, when we've tried this idea of mentoring, we've assigned couples.
Yeah.
Because we trust them.
Yeah.
But if the couple doesn't trust them, then they're not going to be able to learn from them.
I never thought of that, but you're 100% right.
It doesn't mean that the married couple wasn't trustworthy. They weren't trusted by the right people.
Dude.
Yeah.
And trust is a funny thing. Like for me, and you're gonna laugh, but I'm always attracted to those couples for whom it's a fight. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And I know there's those two extremes, right? There's the couple who they're just so compatible. Like mom would say this: if 2 people agree all the time on everything, you don't need one of them, mm-hmm. right? And you've got those couples, and they're lovely. They're freaky. But they're lovely. And then you've got the 2 that you're fairly sure that when they celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary, right, there are 2 miracles. One is just the beauty of the covenant.
Yeah.
And 2 is how close they came to killing each other. How many times?
One of them is still alive.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I love those couples. Because their love is, that's a love I get.
Mm-hmm. It's chosen.
Yeah. And it's beautiful because it's so intense. Mm-hmm. And they keep fire. They do. That couple. Don't get me started. But I can also see where that's just my preference. Mm-hmm. And so what am I going to pick? Train wreck couple. I love train wreck couples, right?
For sure.
But what if that's a source of pain for these 2 young people?
Yeah, right? Maybe they had that experience as a child,
right?
And that was not life-giving to them,
right?
So they're looking for the perfect harmony couple.
Yeah. Dude, I like how you're thinking. I never knew that part. Mm-hmm. Like I just knew, they picked theirs. And honestly, all I heard was, I don't have to go find couples.
Yeah.
Because finding, what's the rule? The couple that volunteers to do it, you should be nervous about. Exactly. Our marriage is perfect. We should, we're not going to have you mentor anyone.
Exactly.
Because usually what it means is one of them just doesn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? When you got we've got it together. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of you don't talk.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of our experience in marriage prep.
Yeah.
Great couple.
Yeah.
We just didn't relate to them as much. And so last time I've seen them was my wedding day. Because we invited them to the wedding, but then, out of kind of a sense of like, well, they were our mentors, we should probably invite them.
Yeah.
But the church trusted them and assigned them.
So you put them at the table with the aunt with the drinking problem.
Yeah.
And the priest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The priest with the drinking problem?
I think there's 3 that don't.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'd know who you were talking about, you know, back then at least. Sorry, folks. That's one of those things, like, whenever I get worried about, like, okay, this is off topic. So, you know this one, right? Whenever I get worried, I'm like, is the priesthood, as today, ever going to get it together? I always think about the fact that, and Dan, tell me what you think of this statement. When I was growing up, every priest was drunk. And that stopped. Like, at some point, the church went, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And
maybe we shouldn't be okay with any kind of sin.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, it's a rarity, right? Like, when we hear now, and an older priest told me this, now when they say they're sending him away to get sober, right? He's had some troubles. You feel bad for the brother, and you just want to hug him and say, he'll be all right. And he said, but also, he says, a part of me is like, that hadn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
He said, when I was a young priest, that was every 2 weeks somebody was getting shipped.
I can think of one priest my whole life who had to have, like, the special low alcohol wine for the mass.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, some problems, I guess, we eventually get after. You know, we're just a big, big train. It's a long time to turn that boat.
Yeah.
So feel free, right? May I invite people to ask questions?
No. Yeah,
Please feel free to ask Carrie questions that she will promptly ignore. Do you mind if I ask about your family, or okay? So tell me about your beloved and your squiddies.
Sure. So we've been married for 6 years.
Nice.
And we're expecting our 5th.
So please send coffee to his wife.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Last night my wife was like, "Boy, that was a rough night," and I was like, "Oh, I slept."
Yeah, I had a great night.
Yeah, so I would say just a little bit on the kids. 4 were definitely the NFP. We planned them out. We got married a little bit later. I was 35, and so we thought.
And she's about 23, right?
18.
18, yeah. Yes.
Legal.
Yeah.
It was legal. Yeah. So we just thought, if we want to have a decent-sized family, we need to get moving. So the first 4, we scheduled them really close together. And then while in the midst of being homeless, because we just bought a house.
Oh, sure.
My wife got pregnant for the 5th.
Nice.
And that was a little bit of a...
How you doing?
Lord, what's going on?
Yeah.
I thought I was following the chart.
Turns out humans are unpredictable.
Yeah.
So the plan was 4.
Yeah. So we've got.
So how do you feel about an odd number?
Oh, well, maybe we'll have to have number 6.
You got
just
to
to
now.
even it out.
Because that'll be the priest.
When I had 3, I knew we'd have 4.
Yeah.
I just can't do odd
There you
numbers.
go.
You feel a little off kilter.
Yes.
Like a chair with one short leg.
And once you hit 6 kids, I'm serious, ask priests. This is so weird. I've had this theory for years. When you meet priests, the number of them that come from 6 or more kids is astounding.
Well, I came from 6.
Okay.
And I dropped out of the seminary, so
That's
maybe
right, they kicked you out.
Yeah.
Is that what you say now? You tell people you dropped out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was 6 months away from the diaconate, and they were like, "Do we really want this guy?"
we thought he'd leave.
Exactly. We've been trying our hardest to make
Now,
this.
am I mistaken that you and I both were rejected by Saginaw?
I was not rejected by Saginaw. I was a seminarian for Saginaw.
Oh, wait, who was bishop when you were in?
Carlson.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, jerk. Well, although I shouldn't complain because I'd be in Saginaw if Carlson was king back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's a tremendous number, for those of you who don't know, in Diocese of Lansing, I believe there's 14 of us.
I don't know the
11.
exact
It's 11
number,
or 14. I know that's a big difference. Who were rejected by Saginaw, who came over to Lansing and found a home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up up there.
Yeah.
But now I work for the diocese here in Lansing.
Isn't that funny?
So I might not be a priest, but I'm...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, but look at how many. Anyway, yeah. Saginaw. So were you the city of Saginaw guy?
No, I was Bay City.
Sausage. The sausage there is so
The
good.
South Side Polish. Yeah, that was my parish.
If you're not from,
Which parish?
St. Stan's.
Stanislaus. Yeah, if you get a chance, folks, if you're not from Michigan, or if you're from Michigan but never been there, Bay City, to me, is the best secret gem. Seriously.
Pray for Bay City. It's kind of going down.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, poo.
All of the industries are leaving, and it's,
Yeah, anyway. So you got a COVID baby coming. right?
I mean,
Is that
I
what I'm
guess
hearing,
if that's
or-
what you want to call it. I mean, what
Yes,
is
we
COVID
do.
still going?
Yes.
Is
Yeah, I
COVID
think
still
it
going?
is. As far as the government's concerned, you know. Oh, we're gonna get calls. Yeah. Let me just
I'm
say I'm
surprised you
sorry
haven't
for
yet.
whatever Rich said that offended you, that you thought I said. But if you do get a chance, seriously, Bay City is worth your time. That Riverwalk
Oh,
and
yeah,
all that
beautiful.
sausage, and honestly, some fine cigar shops too. I'm gonna cough. So. Oops. Okay. So, brother. So you're married. You've got 5 squigglies. Well,
4 with one on the way.
0.5.
4.5.
Now,
yeah.
when can I ask? April 7th. Is that the due date?
Sorry, it's going to be more like May 7th.
Okay. But I'm right.
You're right.
Yeah. Just so you know. And you
hope
know
he's-
why April 7th?
Is that your birthday?
Jack Morris threw a perfect game
Oh.
in 1984 on April 7th.
And his birthday.
Oh, and it's my
Oh,
birthday.
it's your
I
birthday
forgot.
too?
Can
Oh.
I have a drink of your water?
No, I might
Come
get
on.
whatever you're coughing over.
That's true. I'm coughing because I got a catch in my throat. It's all the crack. It turns out it's not crack is not high in vitamin D.
Oh, really?
they
I've
lie.
always heard it was.
I'm sorry, sis. Do you want it back? Okay. So, you were in seminary. You
Yeah.
entered seminary. Were you straight out of high school?
No, I
Straight out
got
college.
I got my undergrad in
Okay.
liberal arts, so I didn't have to. I got it from Magdalen College, a little tiny little college in New Hampshire.
What a great name of a
Oh
college.
yeah,
I'm
I love
serious.
St. Mary Magdalene.
I love that girl.
The apostle to the apostles.
Oh, she never gets the credit.
No.
I don't know what it is. And I think it's because there's so many Marys.
That might be.
Miriam was the most common name for a girl at the time Jesus was born.
Okay.
Right? The most common name for a boy at the time Jesus was born was Judas. Right? Because Judas Maccabee, or Maccabi, however you say it. Anyway, so you went to Magdalen.
I studied philosophy there as part of my liberal arts degree.
And were you thinking at that point
No.
of priesthood? No.
No, I first was thinking about law
Okay.
because I like to fight with people. And I thought philosophy would be good to help with that.
Okay.
But then various things happened in my life, and I decided to go into education. So
Okay.
I actually was taught in a school for 2 years
Okay.
before I discerned the call to go to the seminary.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then were you an SJV guy?
No, I went right to major seminary in Sacred Heart.
Oh, of course, because you had your undergrad. So who was king at Sacred Heart when you were there? It wasn't Vigneron anymore.
No, it was
The short guy, Monforton?
yeah.
Okay. I shouldn't say. I didn't mean that disrespectfully.
No,
You're
no.
a wonderful priest,
Oh, yeah.
and I hear
Bishop
he's
of
a great
Steubenville
bishop
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt I shouldn't have said. I didn't mean that offensive, but I just remember.
Just describing it.
Yeah, well, because Vigneron was tall.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. And anyway, one time he stood next to Mike Begarin at a parish function, and I chuckled. So how long were you at the Heart?
I was there for 2.5 years. I left during Christmas break of 2007. So
Okay.
and I moved out to Washington D.C. It was kind of like a mutual discernment. I was discerning out of the seminary, but at the same time discerning what my next step was.
Sure.
And so I moved that Christmas break after the New Year. I went out to
Okay.
Washington D.C. to study at the John Paul II Institute.
I thought you were going to say Catholic U, but I forgot all about the JP2 Institute.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, for our folks listening who aren't familiar, seminary, to me, this was one of the most beautiful things.
I still wish I was in seminary.
It was cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But one of the most beautiful things to me was like half of the guys I started seminary with left. But the way they leave is like what you're talking about, what they call discernment. That it's not you have to go,
Yeah.
or you sneaking out in the dead. It's something they want you to talk about. You know, this is important. That they don't want you to be a priest if you're not called.
Yeah.
And I never felt pressure to get ordained.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
In fact, they were almost like, now fellas, if you need to talk it through.
Yeah.
We're here to help. And
Taking
I
an extra year is not,
Yeah.
shameful or anything
no,
like that. Yeah.
no. And praise God that you're a good example, I think, for God's people that They told us 50% of you drop out, won't get through the first year.
Yeah.
And then 50% left won't get ordained.
Yeah.
And they told us that the first day, and they were right.
Yeah. I mean, the time frame in which I left was a little bit odd because I left so late.
Yeah.
Because most guys will have 2 years before they get into the theology. And I didn't have that. I went right into
You already
theology.
had the PT.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Pre-theology is Latin and philosophy. Sorry.
yeah. So that was, to have somebody leave that late in the game was a little odd, but,
Sure.
you know, it got to the point where when I would pray about it, I would like clench my fists and I go, I can do this. I can be a priest.
bro.
And then I thought, this is not the posture.
My beautiful brother.
It needs to be this. So that was really kind of an eye-opening experience for me.
So you're out at JP2 now. Have you met the woman who's your future wife yet?
No, I didn't
Oh, cool.
meet her for 7 years until after I left the seminary. So
Okay.
I graduated and I taught one more year at a high school in Virginia.
Okay.
And then I worked at a parish for four years as a director of religious education.
Bro.
And then met my wife, moved back to Michigan, and I was delivering pizzas in the months before the wedding. And one day a bunch of friends started calling me up and saying, the Diocese of Lansing is hiring a marriage and family director. You should apply. So I applied, and I walked into the interview room, and there were a bunch of people I knew. Dawn Hausman,
Love her.
our director of consecrated vocations, she was in the class behind me at the JP2 Institute.
Nice.
Craig Pohl was in seminary with me.
Greg, yeah.
Father John Linden was in seminary with me.
John Linden, love
Yeah.
that dude. You're listing all our home run hitters.
So I was like, oh, I got this.
Yeah. Sparked out. You know, let's do this.
No, but they hired me 9 days before my wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was sweating it.
And they were like, you're working on Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, we're taking a risk hiring a non-married guy.
So, did you attend a Catholic high school?
No,
Oh, Saginaw, no.
no, I was
There's only
actually-
one. Right?
Yeah, there is only one in Saginaw. Yeah, I was. I've done it all. I've done the Catholic school, I've done public school, and I did homeschool.
Rocket.
And so Catholic school and public school were my early years, and then I ended up homeschooled in high school.
Homeschool's a good, I really think as our culture continues to get more and more funky, that a refuge for a lot of people will be homeschooling.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this mean, but people, well, what about socialization? Have you been to high school? I don't want them socialized into that.
That was my parents
Yeah.
kind of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they need to be
Listen,
socialized.
we were in high school. We don't want you to be in high school.
I can put you in a labor camp, but what? Anyway, was there a person or? Oh, sorry, I thought it's a new question.
Oh,
so I didn't
great.
realize that she was still typing it.
Okay.
Okay. Was there a person or event in your life that stood out as a reason that you entered into seminary?
Yeah, so I had always it always been in the background. I think any young man who's Catholic should think about it.
Yes.
Because you never know how God's gonna call you. But for me, it was reading the autobiography of John Paul II called Gift and Mystery.
Yeah.
Where it's basically
love that.
it's his vocation story. And so that really freed me. Because John Paul II was already kind of my hero.
Oh, he's the man.
And so to hear him talk about his vocation was really freeing for me. But also, I was driving down the road listening to Catholic radio, and there was a talk that Father John Riccardo gave.
Love that dude.
And he said that one of the reasons a man should become a priest is the same reason why the Word became flesh, and that's to show men the Father.
Okay.
And I was like, what better thing is there to
Yeah.
do? But what I realized was the way I had discerned out was my spiritual director said that you should become a priest because that's how God is choosing to love you, rather than you choosing to love God that way.
How you doing?
And so I realized that God wasn't choosing to love me in that way. He was choosing to love me in a different way.
Yeah.
And that was really the experience when I first got married, is I felt God's love so profoundly through my wife that I was like a confirmation.
That's what I'm talking
about. And I never really doubted. I did have one moment of doubt, maybe a couple of years ago. It was totally from Satan. I was putting the kids to bed. It was a little bit stressful.
Yeah.
I had this voice in my head that said, "Oh, you made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
You should have been
I
a
know
priest."
what you're talking about.
And moment of grace immediately followed. I said, "Yeah, but look at what God's able to do with a bad choice. I got a great wife and awesome kids. So
Yeah.
screw you, Satan."
And man, woman, it doesn't matter. We've all had that.
Yeah, and I think that's such a liberating truth for people. Like when I shared just a few weeks ago, I shared about this moment, remember, where I was at a McDonald's shortly after I was ordained. And I thought, well, that'd be nice. Just to go to work and come home. And come home to someone you love and who loves you. And I had this moment of, I messed up. But it was the same thing. And, sharing that, I was surprised. I received a word from, I can't believe priests watch this. Most don't, obviously. But who were like, I'm so glad you said that because I've carried that guilt for years.
Yeah, and just to be clear, there's no such thing as going to work and coming home. It's
Right.
going to work and then coming home and going to work.
Exactly, right, exactly. And that was, this, if I may, I'm going to preach. I'm sorry. But this is the thing I've had to say to people, even in the recent past. The reason you want to leave this marriage is because the next marriage looks great to you. And the reason the next marriage looks great to you is because you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I hate how trite this is, but that grass is always greener.
Exactly.
But if we can't find happiness where our shoes are, we won't find happiness in the next thing. And I've had to give the covenant talk to a few married people in the last year, where I just want to say to them, like, as a celibate, I don't think your life's easier than mine.
Yeah.
I don't. I know that was always the, priests make a noble sacrifice. Not really. We all make sacrifices. But your ability to have, like if I'm talking to a man, a woman see you and know you and be ticked at you and love you.
Oh, yeah. It's so freeing.
I will never understand it till heaven.
Yeah.
And you get to understand it now.
Yeah.
And then I give him the cowboy up speech.
Yeah.
You man up.
Yeah, I often say that the two vocations they share, like, married people can help priests learn what love is.
Yes.
Priests and other celibates, our beloved sisters, they can show us married people what love is for.
Well,
You should be in charge of marriage and family life in our diocese.
I'll talk to the bishop about it.
No, I will. Okay. You're just a layperson. Now, I think, let me take a look. Do we, we did it. Okay.
Somehow disconnected. So.
Okay, yeah, we've had a little struggle with the internet. Carrie hit it with
we're
a
not
hammer.
online right now?
No, we are.
Oh, okay.
But the question didn't get through, right?
Oh, okay.
So what I'm going to do, there's another question we didn't get to yet. But I think, let me look. Oh, no, we're not there yet. Great. Do you mind more questions?
No,
Are you
let's
doing
hit 'em
good?
up, yeah.
Okay. So, brother, when it's, if you were king for a day, right? And I mean this, like if it was, okay, Rich, you make, whatever decision you make holds.
Yeah.
What would you change in our diocese to promote, or what would you do in our diocese to enact, that you believe would enact real change and growth
Sure.
in our diocese?
There's a quote that John Paul II said first thing when he was first made Pope, and that Benedict XVI quoted.
That's my point.
And then Pope Francis has supported it in various things, but he didn't quote this exact quote. But anyways, John Paul II said, "The new evangelization depends largely on the domestic church."
Yes.
And I think as an institutional church sometimes, we rely too much on our institutionalness
How you doing?
as being the savior.
Yeah.
And the way God made the world is through human community. And I think if we not only empowered families, but also let families know the importance of their role, we would be a lot more successful in our efforts of bringing the gospel to the world. Because, the family is the image of God. You know, JP2 said that we're not in the image of God so much in our solitude as we are in our communion.
Okay.
And the family is the primordial communion, you know? And a lot of times when we think about like the fundamental aspect of society, it's a bunch of individuals that come together to form a community or nation. That's not how the church thinks about it. The fundamental cell is the family. And so I think, obviously that's my shtick. I wouldn't have done this job if I didn't think it was important. But I really do think that looking for ways not only to minister to the family, but looking for ways to allow the family to minister as part of the church.
Yes. I just had one of those discussions, I don't know where here they are, with some of them and I hate how I sound, but I said, I'm not the answer to your problem. Right. Well, Father, I need. Okay. You do need, I agree. I don't think I'm the guy. There's a million beautiful people in this parish. You know.
We only think about ourselves and our concerns. Pope Benedict XVI, in his first encyclical, God is Love, he said that we should have such a concern for the brothers and sisters in the pews that no Catholic ever is in need. We are a long way off from that.
We are. Okay, couple more. Any thought on resurrecting the armchair Catholic? I loved it.
I loved it too.
Me too.
It was a lot of work. So not just in the recording, but like just to edit it. It wasn't a live show. Thank God. You know the kind of things that Craig
that you said that were so out of control.
I said Craig. Okay, I didn't say me.
No, I meant you.
And so the time it took to record it would usually take twice as long to edit. So if we recorded an hour-long show, it would take another 2 hours after that, and then the marketing and making sure people know. It was a part-time job
either.
It was a part-time job, and when we started the podcast, I had one kid, so it was easy.
Oh, bro!
It was like, no big deal. I'll stay up a little bit late, and work on the editing. When we ended the podcast, I had 3. And now we're expecting 5. So
it's gonna be twins.
When COVID first.
Well, the good thing is you're working for the church, so you're getting a ton of money.
Well, affording Catholic school is easy. When COVID first hit, we tried to do a couple of episodes, and I was like, I forgot why we stopped doing this. So I really loved it. I loved the community that we had kind of built, and hearing from people all over the world. And we had a growing audience in Australia, which was fun. And we had you on, and you were our chaplain.
The chaplain.
The chaplain, not a chaplain.
By the way, side note, did you know Ryan Riley did mass for the U of M football team?
Really?
He's a Spartan, like a Spartan. So
he's really offered up
Isn't that
a lot
hilarious?
of penance.
Oh, I abused him. I acted like he betrayed me. That's because I'm 12, Brother, what book would be a standout to recommend to a young man, a minor, still, excuse me, I'm reading this wrong. What book would be a standout to recommend to a young man who's still a minor that he could read regarding discernment?
Like to become a priest?
I think just discernment, like priest or married,
It's not the most easy book to get through, but just to look at, I think it's Father Gallagher. He wrote a book on St. Ignatius's rules for discernment.
Really?
Yeah, and he writes in a really accessible way.
I agree.
So a young person might be able to get through. Well, one of the St. Ignatius of Loyola has all these rules for how to discern. And one of the eye-opening things for me was, if you're seeking the Lord, he's going to give you comfort in holy things.
Yeah.
And the devil's going to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because the devil doesn't want you to keep going down there. If you're falling away from the Lord, the devil is going to make you feel comfortable. And the Lord's going to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so just because you're choosing the wrong thing doesn't mean that comfort is good.
Yeah.
And just because you're choosing the right thing doesn't mean that discomfort is bad.
Yeah.
So that would, I'm forgetting his first name, but Father Gallagher, Father Buck Gallagher. Buck is not his first name.
Hey, if you have twins, you have to name the boy Buck, so he can be Father Buck.
Well, you know what we kind of tripped into?
What's that?
We've named our kids after popes. We didn't intend to.
Rocket. Don't do Francis, though. That kid will get in a lot of fights.
Do you have a voice?
No, our first was a girl, and then because...
Joan? I can't believe it. If you're not a historian, that's a really stupid joke. I'm sorry. There was no Pope Joan.
There was no Pope.
There was all a joke. Okay.
No, so the first one, John Paul. There were no other options.
Best Pope ever.
My wife didn't have a choice in that matter. But then we were going to name our next son Benjamin. We went to the ultrasound, found out he was a boy, and we both left saying, Benjamin's not the right name. Mm-mm. So we went home, we prayed. My wife was reading the life of Saint Benedict, the monk.
Okay, now.
Loved Saint Benedict. I, at the same time, was reading something from Pope Emeritus Benedict. And so we both said, how about Benedict?
Yeah.
And so we got to the hospital room. The nurse asked us, how'd you come up with Benedict? And I said, Pope Benedict. And my wife was like, no, it's because of Saint Benedict. So we had come to the name for two different reasons. Well, then the one thing that we did want is we wanted to name boys after the three close disciples of Jesus, Peter, James, and John. So with John Paul, we had our John. Benedict's middle name was James.
Okay.
So with our third boy, we named him Peter. So we could have Peter, James, and John. But then we still were choosing a pope's name. Yeah. So now we kind of feel committed. It's like if it's a boy, we got to pick a pope's
You got to
name.
go Leo.
Apollinarius, maybe?
Oh, Celestine.
Yeah, or Sixtus.
Sixtus. Oh, or Urban. Just go weird.
Well, I was gonna say how about Pio, but my wife was for pious.
Yeah, no.
She didn't like it.
No.
Dang.
No.
She's not holy.
No. Why does she hate God? Leo.
Leo. I actually really like Gregory.
I do too. Of the Lion.
Yeah.
That's what that name means. From the Lion.
I like Gregory.
Oh, Gregory. Oh.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
So we'll see. It'll probably be a girl.
Yeah.
Well, we can still name her Gregory.
Well, you can name her Celeste.
There you go.
That's a pope.
Yeah.
Celestine. And who else was that? No. Or was that Agrippina? No. Anyway, you wouldn't name her Agrippina. No. Okay. So I think we got to go to lightning round, don't we? Yeah. Okay, we have more questions for you, but you're not worthy of them.
Okay, I understand.
I don't want to make any judgments.
It's understood.
Yeah. Do you know about speed round?
Okay,
I
at
don't.
least read the last question.
Okay, at least the long one?
Nope.
No. Oh, I see. Can we still listen to Armchair Catholic Podcast?
Yes, it's still available on Spotify.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but yes.
Yes.
So if you look on
Spotify. It's an app. It's a
Spotify.
website. It's a web.
they'll know.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said to the camera, they'll know.
They'll know.
They'll know. Wait, I got to whip off it. See that?
Yeah, that was impressive.
I know. So do you know, okay, speed round is when I ask you a series of A or B questions.
Oh, okay.
And you pick one. And if you pick wrong, Carrie stabs you in the throat.
I hope not while I'm doing it. Maybe afterwards.
So that's what you should name your child.
The Pope.
The Pope.
And this is our son, the Pope.
The first name is the second name is Pope.
Yeah, but his initials would
the
be
Pope
TP.
Bud. TPB.
TPB.
Okay, ready?
Already.
Car or truck?
Jeep.
Car or truck? That's awesome. Can you imagine? Car or truck? Okay, Jeep, loser. Italian food or Mexican food? I know.
Mexican.
Isn't that brutal?
That's hard.
And you can tell, us big people, we think about this. Like we had D'Antonio and he's like, Italian. I'm like,
That's not even
You're
fair,
not-
though. He is Italian.
yeah. But I mean, skinny people like don't even think about, they're like, oh, I'd pick this one. We're like, Can we have both?
The Mexican people are a beautiful people.
Oh, and they make
just-
beautiful food.
Oh, yes.
The best thing to me about Mexican food is you can get a burrito, which is a tortilla, beef, and cheese. Or you get a taco, which is a tortilla, beef, and cheese.
It's just arranged differently.
Yeah, you can get nachos, which is tortillas, beef, and cheese. You can get an enchilada. It's tortillas, beef, and cheese. Now, you know one thing you can get is a quesadilla, which is tortillas, beef, and cheese. Yeah, great stuff.
They can work with what they got.
And every one of them tastes different. That's what gets me. Like, what are you people doing? This is witchcraft. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Because you love God. Baseball or football? I don't know your answer on this.
I'm gonna lean football.
Okay. Football or basketball?
Football.
Thank God. Because remember, you grew up at a time when in the NBA they played defense.
Yeah, the NBA is not the NBA anymore.
No.
Where's Isaiah Thomas?
I know. Do you know he was in Detroit?
Back when guys my height could play basketball.
And murder people.
Yeah.
As long as you... Yeah, okay. Chevy or Ford? I don't know your answer on this.
I've owned both.
Right.
I'm gonna go Ford right now.
Okay. Text or phone call?
Text.
Movie or book?
Movie. Movie for like fiction, because I can just sit back and relax.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But if I'm gonna like read a something from a pope or a saint or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Because I like
see...
to draw on my books, not draw, like write.
Right.
My wife makes fun of me that I'm having a conversation with a book, because I'll be like, what are they talking about? She'll come to the book after me like, were you talking to the book?
Like, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, why do you
Why
hate
is that
God?
strange?
Have you asked her why does she hate God?
I just ask her why she doesn't read that much.
Oh, there's that. Hey, did you see the Fatima movie, the new one?
Yes, I did.
Did you cry?
No, I know this is not a popular opinion.
Okay, we're gonna fight. I can tell already.
I liked the 40s one better. Or was it in the 50s?
Never saw it.
I liked it better.
I don't know how to say that. I loved her face. Like, there was something, whoever this gal is, they caught the human and the ethereal. Like, I loved it. I dig Fatima. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Alaska or Florida?
Alaska.
Alaska or Texas?
Aren't they the same place?
Yeah, that's true. Do you know which one has more guns per capita? I do know this.
It's got to be Alaska.
It is Alaska by a long margin, which shocked me.
I think that's just about survival, though.
Right. Well, and I think it's all the lefties moving to Texas.
Listen,
because their gun ownership per person goes down every year.
There's no bears living in Texas, is there?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or at least no grizzlies.
There used to be.
I'm choosing Alaska.
Yeah, me too. Plus less people. I would pick Alaska because less humans. Yeah.
There it is.
Was that bad? Should I have not said that?
No,
out loud?
I agree
Okay. I just
100%.
hate people. It's
Yeah,
no
me
big
too.
deal.
Me too.
It's kind of been our secret.
Right. You humans disgust me. No. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke. I don't even think they should make Pepsi.
Do you know what's funny? I've become a Pepsi person, and I
Really?
don't know when this happened. I was always a feral Coke guy. But at some point, I was in a place, and I want to say Israel. Have you been to Israel?
Mm-hmm.
I think, was there a preponderance of Pepsi there? Like, there
I
was
don't
one of the
remember.
countries I went to where all you could get was Pepsi.
I went to Israel specifically not intending not to have anything that I could have in the Western world.
Okay.
So
I did
like
that
when
with
my
the food.
when my friends like went to Pizza Hut, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
They went to Pizza
I
Hut
was
and
like, I'm getting falafel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I ate falafel every day. I ate gyros. I ate a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the U.S., I'll eat a lot of bluegill or perch. I'll eat that all day.
Sure.
But I don't like salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy for fish except bluegill and perch, but over there, I did enjoy the fish.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed their vegetables, which surprised me. They do a lot of crazy
Their
stuff.
breakfast is way different than
Oh,
ours.
yeah.
We went for breakfast and it was like they pulled out the vegetable tray and it was like, for breakfast?
Yeah, I know. It felt repugnant.
Exactly.
When I got back,
It
the
has
first
to be a
thing...
high carb meal, right?
I know. And did you do the, so you can't do it at Pizza Hut, right? But part of the kosher is no beef and dairy mixed, right?
Yeah.
So no cheeseburgers, no pizza, no... I didn't miss it. I was surprised. After a while, I didn't even think about it. But when I got back, do you know what I got after? Like, from the airport, I stopped and got hash browns.
Oh, okay.
I never had hash browns over there. I never saw potatoes. And it never occurred to me.
A lot of wine, though.
A lot of wine. Yeah.
A lot of wine.
And it's super sweet.
Yeah.
They do
But on that question of Coke or Pepsi,
Yeah.
you know, you go to the restaurant and you order a Coke and they
Yeah.
say, is Pepsi fine?
Yeah.
I'll say no.
No, thank you. Why do you hate
I'd
God?
rather have water.
Did I ask for a Pepsi? Okay, did we do Facebook or Twitter?
No?
I deleted Facebook. All I have is Twitter left. So.
Okay. They're both wicked.
Yeah.
I can barely tolerate them.
During the whole COVID
Yeah.
fights and stuff, I said I'm done with Facebook. I got rid of it.
It got to the point where I couldn't post like Jesus loves you
Yeah.
without someone, where's your mask? or he's wearing a mask. You know, it was like everybody sees the whole world through their personal cause.
Yeah.
And it's like, just
I just
soak in the beauty.
I just had to check out. I was like, I'm stressed over things that have nothing to do with me.
Or this one, let's not kill babies. What about kids in cages? I'm like, yeah, I don't like that either.
Exactly.
As it turns out, you can do both. But the good news is,
Spoiler alert, they're all bad.
yeah, who knew? You know, what was the one? Did you see this person? It was so funny. Someone put up this thing. Okay, you pro-lifers. This thing on Twitter. So it was like, if you believe a woman should have to carry a baby to term, then the man should be responsible for the baby too. What do you think of that? And everyone was like, yeah.
So you're becoming Catholic now?
Right. We were like, one priest replied, you just reversed engineered marriage. You literally reverse engineered marriage.
You prefer to go the other way, but hey, if you're going to get there anyways, then go for it.
Anyway, sorry. Okay. Cat or dog? I don't know your answer.
Dog.
Okay, I assumed. Oh, MSU or U of M? See, now normally I say MSU or a lesser school, but I love you so much.
Thank you for
my bro.
doing me the honor.
My bro, you know that. Okay. Where were we? Oh, this one's tough. Cake or pie?
Pie.
What?
Yes.
You didn't even pause.
No, I asked my wife to have pie at our wedding.
Yeah.
Wedding
Did she
pie.
do
It would be way too expensive.
Oh, that's true.
To have
you could
enough
just have a
pies
pie
to
for
feed
you.
him. Well, yeah, I wanted to
Poop on the plebs. Were they getting married?
There were
No.
so many things I wanted at my wedding that
Yeah.
didn't happen.
You know the best weddings, if you ask me, and I truly mean this. Like if I had a kid who was getting married, I'd tell him this. Here's the party after the wedding. My backyard, burgers, dogs, beer.
Yeah.
None of this covered seats and table settings and all that.
I
It's just
honestly
like, have fun.
I honestly think we've been tricked
Me too.
into thinking that weddings need to be this certain way.
Ugh.
No, they should just be family gatherings.
You know, when I was a kid, most wedding receptions
At the
were
KFC hall.
potlucks. Yeah. And everybody just had a riot because there was no pressure. And I tell you, it all falls on the bride. It all falls on the bride. She has to have all poop on that. Have fun.
My wife didn't realize that she was marrying the marriage and family guy.
Yeah.
And I was a guy that thought about my wedding.
That's true. You were like, let's talk about your calendar.
Exactly.
And he didn't mean the itinerary.
So, actually, I got to kind of plan the liturgy.
Oh, that's cool, bro.
So, it was the best part.
My
of the wedding.
bro. Okay, what were we talking about? So honestly, I'm a cake guy. Like if you said I had, well, it's tough.
Think about it though. Beyond the icing, what else is good about cake?
I like the foofy. I like the foofy white.
The whole pie is good.
I don't disagree, but like, I'll pick mincemeat pie over a cake.
Oh well, you're starting to add in sure, if you want to make a pot pie, if you're gonna.
Yeah, it's basically a sweet pot pie, and I'm goofy for that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think most times.
I mean, think
I
about
would
what's the
think-
best part of Thanksgiving? It's the pie.
No.
Pumpkin pie,
it's the
apple
stuffing.
pie. Okay, you've got a point there. The
Yeah.
stuffing is pretty good.
Like if you can see through the gravy, I didn't put enough gravy on the plate. You know what I mean? Like I turkey.
Do you have cake on Thanksgiving?
I don't think so. Do
No,
we ever?
you have pie.
You know, he makes a fine point.
Do you have cake for 4th of July? No,
Yes.
you make an apple pie.
I don't like apple pie.
Do they say it's as American as cake? Or do they say it's as American as apple pie?
In Montrose.
In Montrose.
Euchre or pinochle, Michigan boy.
Euchre.
Hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger. Although every once in a while I get jonesing for a hot dog. But it's got to have like
It's got to be
chili
Kugel.
and-
Kogel.
Oh, yeah.
Serve the Kurt.
They're always in good taste.
Highways or back roads?
I like to drive fast.
Yeah.
So highways.
Okay. Bacon or ham?
Bacon.
You know, no one's ever said ham. And if they did, I would kill them.
It all comes from the pig.
Yeah. Have you ever heard my thing about how pigs are proof of God? Its existence. Do you know about this? So here's the key. You know, we grew up working on farms. We know farms. And I know, like, back in the day, I know now it's feed and it's all this stuff, but you had these bins that you threw all your leftovers in. Anything organic. So coffee grounds, you know, the little peel that came off the bologna back in the day, remember that? Eggshells, everything.
Left
That's
over
what
from
the
the
pigs
melon.
ate.
Yeah.
And they made bacon out of it.
That is a proof. Yeah.
There is a
They
good
to
loving
literally
God.
take garbage and make it into bacon.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
You seriously, and they'll eat humans. They don't care. Whatever
Why
you...
didn't Aquinas put this in the Summa?
Because he's stupid.
It's
Are you a Thomist or are you an Augustine guy?
more Thomas. Yeah.
I can't, like, if I make it to heaven, and that's, you know, we're spotty here, but
At best.
two saints are probably going to be ticked at me for making fun of them my whole adult life. St. Francis Assisi, overrated, and St. Thomas Aquinas. Like, my theory is the only reason he's a saint is because God needed to get him to heaven so that Thomas could explain to God what the hell he was talking about. Because I'll read Aquinas and I'm like, I'm not stupid, I'm not sharp. But you can read Thomas all day, and the only thing you get out of it is a headache.
That's that.
He's brutal.
Have you ever tried to read Augustine on the Trinity, though?
I love Augustine.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and Augustine, though, what he does, and this is why I like him, because he's like St. Paul, where all of a sudden he'll just stop and go, this is incredible. And he'll write that.
Yeah.
And then he'll keep, anyway, all right. I should have Augustine or Aquinas on here. Because I know there's people who love Augustine and there's people who hate God.
You know, when I was in grad school,
Yeah.
all of my classmates would pray to St. Joseph of Cupertino to pass their test because he was the saint that struggled in school.
Okay.
And when he went to get his test to become a priest, he could only remember one of the answers. And that was the question that they asked him
Shut
on his
up.
test. So all of my classmates would pray to Joseph of Cupertino.
Nice.
And I was like, wait, why are you praying to the dumb saint?
Right.
I'm praying to Aquinas.
Yes, get Aquinas in there. Right? All you know is all of a sudden you kind of zone out, and when you come to,
The test has been written.
and the prophet's in awe. Exactly. And even God's going, wait, what? Wine or beer?
I'll say beer.
Beer or cocktail?
Cocktail.
Okay. Hiking or biking?
Hiking.
Pool or beach?
Beach.
New car or classic car?
Classic.
Okay.
Especially Corvette.
Oh, yeah. Do you know my brother bought one?
I was behind a guy.
Oh, we
the
have
other-
to stop?
Oh.
Oh, we have to stop.
Oh.
This is your fault. I showed my usual discipline, hyper focus,
Awareness. Yeah.
So we got to stop now.
Okay.
I'm going to lead us in prayer.
Gotcha.
Mostly for your conversion. And then what? Then tomorrow, it's question and answer. And then Wednesday, we're going to talk about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
7, 9. So.
I'll tune in.
Yeah.
7.
Did I hear a 9er in there? So, okay. That's it. So, please pray for Rich Bud and his family, especially his newest baby, who will be born on April 10th. It is actually 10th, not 7th.
Oh, okay.
I thought about it. I don't know why. Actually, I do. April 10th. Okay, stop. Let's pray. Can I tell you what April 10th is? Why is it April 10th? Why that name? This is a true story. My mom had this Bible, and I wrote in it, apparently, when I was 8 years old, April 10th, 1978, Jesus wants me to be a priest.
Sweet.
Yeah. crazy
I
stuff.
love that.
So now your squiggly is going to be born on April 10th.
It'll be a little early, but
Your wife will be happy. Your wife will be happy. Do you know, my sister, one of my sisters, what is she, how do you say this? Neonatal intensive care doc. And she said anything over a pound, no problem. That's how much things have changed, how much our medical expertise and growth. Like she said, if a baby's born and it's a pound, we don't even worry, in a sense.
yeah.
How fearfully and wonderfully we are made that God gave us brains to do that. Oh, all right. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Jesus, thank you for Rich and for his commitment to your bride, the church, for the way he sharpened his mind and submitted to the wisdom of the ancients so that we could understand marriage and family life better. Thank you for his beloved, who with him have filled the world with these beautiful children. And we ask that you protect her and keep her safe and healthy and strong. And bless that beautiful child in the womb so that it can grow up and be a saint. Lord, there's a lot in people's lives. I'm hearing a lot of pain and confusion and contentiousness, and Lord Jesus, please intervene and bring us peace. Bring us focus on you and on who you are and what you've done. We ask you bless our marriages, especially those who are fighting for it. Lord, give them strength, give them a reprieve. For those who suffer the pains of divorce, Jesus, heal their broken heart. Help them to trust again when they're ready. For all of the people, Lord Jesus, that we love and we worry about, and for all the circumstances that we fret about, we give them to you, and we love you so much and we trust you. And I ask that Almighty God bless you all, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you for being here, Rich Bud.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you liked this, please share it. If you didn't like it, share it, but with people you hate. And we'll see you all tomorrow when Rich will be home eating pie and steak.
No, it's Friday.
Fish steak.
Fish steak.
Gross. All right, peace.
Something's wrong.
Is it over?
No, it's never over.